The Dr. Ricardo E. Fernando Professorial Lecture started in the year 1999 during the 10th Foundation Anniversary of Institute for the Studies on Diabetes Foundation Incorporated. This professorial lecture was envisioned to be a venue for all graduates to continuously pursue excellence through updates in diabetology and for greater collaboration and fellowship among the alumni of ISDFI. And to honor the father of diabetology and diabetes education in the Philippines, the REF Professorial Lecture was honored by men and women who are the best of the best in their field, the cream of the crop, and a virtual list of the who's who in diabetes. First, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Fred W. Whitehouse, Professor James R. Gavin III, Professor Lim Soo Chi, Professor John Bernard Buse, Professor Joseph Prieto, Professor Bochelin Fruchard. Second, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor James R. Gavin III. Third, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor John E. Jarrett. Fourth, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Margarita Taskinen. Fifth, REF Professorial Lecture. Stephen Alistair Smith. Sixth, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Gerald M. Reven. Seventh, REF Professorial Lecture. David Richard Matthews. Eighth, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Paresh Dandona. Ninth, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Errol Serasi. 10th, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Rory Holman. 11th, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Stefano Del Prato. 12th, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Ellie Ferranini. 13th, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Stephen M. Hafner. 14th, REF Professorial Lecture. Professor Caroline Fiona Deacon. And to formally introduce the 15th Dr. Ricardo E. Fernando Professorial Lecturer, please welcome the Chairman of the Institute for Studies on Diabetes Foundation Incorporated, Dr. Araceli Abrohina Panelo.